All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're exploring a part of the Montessori method that is so fascinating, but often flies under the radar. We're talking about smell and taste. These senses are absolutely fundamental to how a child first connects with their world. In a lot of ways, it's how we all begin to build our very first memories. Just for a second, think about it. Can you conjure up that unique, earthy smell of the ground right after it rains? Or maybe the warm, comforting scent of bread baking in the oven? See? Instantly, those smells bring back feelings, memories, a whole vibe. That right there, that's the power we're going to unpack today. How these two incredible senses shape our entire understanding of the world, right from the very beginning.
So, you might be asking, why did Maria Montessori put such a huge focus on smell and taste? Well, it's because she realized they're not just passive things that happen to us. No, she saw them as active, powerful tools for a child's development. They are, quite literally, the foundation for how a child starts to perceive, organize, and really connect with their environment.
Let's break down what this actually does for a child. First, it enriches their memory. And there's some serious science behind this. Our sense of smell has a direct highway to the parts of our brain that handle memory and emotion. It's why a single whiff of something can just transport you back in time. It also awakens a deep awareness of nature, the difference between the smell of a rose and a pine tree. It helps cultivate an appreciation for culture through all the amazing tastes of different foods. And maybe most importantly, it forges this unbreakable link between a child's mind, their body, and the world all around them. Okay, so how does this actually work in a classroom? This isn't just about, randomly smelling and tasting things, not at all. Montessori created these really specific, elegant materials that are designed to guide a child's exploration in a really focused, intentional way. Let's start with the tools she developed for the sense of smell. At the heart of all the work on smell are the smelling bottles. Now, this isn't just a random collection of jars with stuff in them. It's a very carefully designed set of tools. The whole goal is to help a child refine their sense of smell through really specific activities, like matching identical scents or even arranging them by intensity, from faint to strong. And the process itself is just beautiful in its simplicity. A child picks up a bottle, maybe it's filled with the scent of cinnamon, and they just take a moment to breathe it in. The first job is just to experience it, to identify it. Then comes the fun part, the challenge. They have to search through a whole other set of bottles to find its identical twin. It sounds simple, but that little game sharpens their memory and their ability to notice very subtle differences. All right, so that's smell. Now what about taste? Well, the activities for taste, or gustatory activities, follow a very similar principle. Isolate the sense and focus. The main materials here are the tasting bottles. But what's really cool is how these exercises are also tied so deeply into practical life skills, like preparing food and really learning to appreciate it. The process for tasting is so careful and respectful. The guide places just a single drop of a liquid on the child's tongue. It might be sweet or sour, salty or bitter, and the goal is for the child to isolate that one taste and identify it. This is huge, because it not only builds their sensory awareness, but it gives them the actual vocabulary, the words to describe this whole new world of sensations they're experiencing. So, we've covered the tools and the theory, but what does this actually look and feel like in a real classroom? Well, it's not a sterile scientific experiment, not even close. It's a series of really joyful, personal discoveries. It's where you see the theory come alive, where that little spark of connection happens right in front of you. You can just picture it, can't you? A little one carefully unscrews a smelling bottle, takes a sniff, and this huge smile of recognition just lights up their face as they proudly declare, "It's cinnamon!" It's the same thing with taste. Another child tries a tiny drop of lemon juice, makes that classic scrunched-up sour face, and then whispers with total certainty, "Sour." In those moments, they're building so much more than knowledge. They're building confidence and a true sense of mastery over their own senses. Now, of course, let's get practical for a second. For any educators or parents tuning in, there are a couple of huge things to keep in mind. First, hygiene. Especially with tasting, it is absolutely non-negotiable. Everything has to be perfectly safe and clean. And second, there's a real art to choosing the scents and tastes. You want to find that perfect balance between things that are familiar and comforting, and new things that are exciting, culturally relevant, and really stretch their sensory horizons. So the big question is, how can you start to bring this into your own world, whether that's a classroom or just right at home?
It really all comes down to creating opportunities for intentional, focused sensory discovery. So let's run through a few really practical tips to get you started. Okay, these are the big takeaways. First, try to use natural scents whenever you can. We're talking real herbs, fresh flowers, actual spices. Second, keep everything super, super clean. Third, mix it up. Rotate what you offer based on the seasons or different cultural foods. And as you're doing all this, help them find the words to describe what they're experiencing. Is it fragrant, spicy, sour? And maybe the most important tip of all, make sure it's a joyful discovery, not a test. There's no right or wrong answer here, only exploration. And that really gets to the heart of it all. The ultimate goal here isn't to create a kid with superhuman senses. It's about cultivating a deep, genuine sense of appreciation. It's about helping them find the beauty and the wonder and the connection in the simple, everyday acts of smelling and tasting the world. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What's an everyday scent in your own home or your garden? Maybe a sprig of mint, a slice of fresh orange, or just the smell of rain on the pavement. What scent could become the next joyful discovery for a child today? Thanks so much for joining me.